All right, everybody. Good late morning. Still Victory Monday. Still feeling pretty good around here, but I am going to spend a little bit of time here talking about something from last night that was not so good. Although hopefully the way in which we talk about it will indicate that all is well, or at the very least no harm, no foul, or at the very least it was a learning experience. I don't know. I don't know. It depends on your perspective, but I want to talk about Tariq Woolen and what happened last night a little bit. And I want to talk about his reaction to what happened last night because it was actually kind of amusing. It was actually kind of funny. And to his credit, he did seem to own his mistake and at the very least address it a little bit. So let's take a look at this a little bit here. First, though, I do want to talk a little bit about the penalty last night, which is obviously what we're all thinking about. All right, everybody, before we go any further into the video, I want to take a minute to tell you guys about a wonderful app called Sleeper, a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat about sports in real time with other users. You can get all kinds of scores, sports news, and sports alerts with blazing fast speed. And of course, you can play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. So enjoy sports with other people in a community. Download the Sleeper app today and remember to use the promo code SBN, that is SBN, for up to $100 match on your first deposit. And they also have a free $20 entry right now, no deposit required. So pair those two up. Terms and conditions do apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. Check out the Sleeper app and have fun with sports this year. Okay, so obviously the taunting penalty last night from Woolen. He breaks up a pass on 3rd and long to Puka. I think it's Puka. And the Seahawks are about to get the ball back because it's 4th and 12 now. And he goes to the Rams sideline and starts talking some stuff. And he gets flagged for it, 15-yard penalty. Rams keep the ball, and they score a touchdown on the very next play on Woolen's head to Puka. And it was the most aggravating sequence in the game last night by a pretty wide margin. If you were watching that game and you're being honest with yourself and your feelings, you definitely felt a pretty big flash of anger at Tariq Woolen for the way that sequence went down. Now, the question is, how do you feel about it this morning? Are you over it? Are you feeling a little bit better about it? How do you feel about Woolen? So that I guess is the first thing I would ask. If you're watching this video, let me know down below. How do you feel about Woolen right now? And let's take a look at how he addressed the incident last night on X. He did make a few tweets last night. He had this tweet uh, at NFL at Seahawks, no more taunting penalties. And then he posted this GIF. I don't know what the GIF is from. I'm sorry. Do you still love me? Acknowledging the fact that he made a mistake. And that is one thing that I want to talk about in this video because I got some comments from people who were mad at Woolen. I got other comments from people saying it's a bad call. It was the referee's fault, stuff like that. I mean, guys, I do agree that the league should be not placing that big of an emphasis on trash talk, and I don't understand why the league is making such a big point of emphasis on that stuff when it's not involving like objectively bad words or objectively offensive gestures. I don't know why they are doing that. I will say that. They are doing it though, and my problem is, if you look at that play, my problem is the referee went to Woolen and said, "Knock it off," and Woolen didn't back off. That's why the penalty got thrown. If Woolen had gone to the Rams sideline and said stuff, and then the referee had come over and the referee said, "Go away," and then he had gone away, I don't think there would have been a penalty. That was something that I think it was not Gene Steratore, but the head ref from last night. I can't remember his name, but the head ref from last night. That's one thing that he said in the box report. It became a penalty because he was told to go away and he didn't go away. So you can't tell me that Woolen is blameless here. There's no way that Woolen is blameless here and he didn't do anything wrong and this is just the league out to get him or anything like that. So I'm not really feeling that. I don't have a lot of sympathy for what Woolen did on that play because what do you gain out of talking trash like that? He said in a later tweet something like, "I kinda blacked out because the game was so intense," but I I I just can't have a lot of sympathy for something like this because it's not like he made a game-winning interception. He didn't even do the Richard Sherman, tip pass. He just broke up a pass on a 3rd down in the 3rd quarter of a game. Game's not over. The game's not even close to being over. You made one nice play. You dropped the interception, by the way. I mean, I'm not mad at you for that, but it's not like you made some great interception. Then maybe I would kind of understand why you're hyped up, but you knocked down a pass, bro. So, I don't know. I don't know. But, Woolen seems to acknowledge that he did make a mistake, which is good because the initial reaction from Woolen on the sideline didn't look so promising. So, I'm not gonna play the video on this video here for obvious reasons, but, you did catch a few minutes of a encounter between Woolen and some of his defensive teammates after the play. I think that's Kobe Bryant, that's Leonard Williams, and of course, Nick Emanwari. All those guys had something to say to Woolen. I think a couple other guys had stuff to say to Woolen as well, and, it seemed like Emanwari was the guy who was getting particularly upset with that sequence, and Woolen kinda sounded like he didn't really wanna hear it. And it was definitely a thing where watching it, I felt the vibes of the game shift. I was like, "Oh, no. Now the guys are beefing with each other on the sideline, and we still got 17 minutes to go in a close game." Like, this was definitely a moment where I looked and I went, "I really hope the defense doesn't have to win this game at the end with a hold because I don't know if they're gonna be able to when it seems like the players are starting to kinda break down on each other." So, when I saw this, I there was definitely a big "uh-oh" moment for me. Luckily, the defense was able to gather themselves in time to come up with a stop at the goal line, but it was close, and you don't like seeing stuff like this, right? It makes you think that the team is not on the same page, it makes you think the team isn't, you know, there's not a lot of togetherness at that moment, and that's what football is all about, right? Being together and being on the same page and playing with a bunch of guys that you trust and playing with guys that you know are going to make the selfless sacrifice play when the time comes for it for the greater good. Now, Woolen did, quote, retweet this video, and what he said was, "Wasn't getting pressed. We brothers and we all chasing greatness. We all on the same mission," which I mean, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I don't know. Like, it sure seemed like Eamon was getting agitated at Woolen. That's kinda how I read it, but maybe. Look, things are intense out there, and Woolen did make a mistake, so I totally understand getting in his face a little bit, and obviously, it's not fun to have somebody get in your face when millions of people are watching on TV, so I can understand Woolen reacting poorly, but it's hard for me to look at this interaction and see anything positive. Now, we did get this from, Eman Wari, in reply to Woolen's, tweet. "The brotherhood is real, real connections other teams don't have." So that's a good thing to see, and the bottom line is, we've got one more game to play, and maybe Woolen will be gone this offseason, maybe Woolen never plays in a Seahawk uniform again after February, but for the moment, he is still a Seahawk, and we have a game. So we got to hold this together for at least one more game. We need these guys to trust each other and believe in each other and be on the same page and do the right thing for one more game. So personally, for me with Woolen, it's just really tough. I don't feel like his passion for football is where it should be for a professional football player. Like, I look at a guy like Devin Witherspoon, and I have no doubt in my mind he loves football and would give anything or just about anything to be as good as possible at football, even when he makes mistakes. Like, Witherspoon made mistakes last night. He got beat a couple times, but I have no doubt in my mind that Devin Witherspoon is going to be all that he can be, and mistakes are something that I'm willing to live with him, but when I look at stuff like this from Woolen and I look at some of the other things I've seen from him in previous years, I think there is a question. How much does he love football? How invested is he into this? Is this just something he does because he's good at it? And he is very good at it, is the thing. And that's what makes this whole thing so frustrating. There are not very many people out there that can do what Woolen has done over the last 3 months. And over the last 3 months, he's been maybe the best cover corner in football. His numbers are off the charts. But then you see something like last night, and it just reminds you of the downside again, and then you start thinking about giving this guy 80 million or $100 million in the offseason, and you're like, is that really the game we want to play right now when we've got other players to give a bunch of money to as well? Witherspoon's going to be getting close to market, top of the market. JSN, same thing. Leonard Williams needs to get extended. You're going to eventually have to extend guys like Byron Murphy, like Walker, even a Kobe Bryant. There's not infinite money to go around here. There's plenty of money, but is this the investment you want to make? I am hard pressed to say that that's a good idea. And I was coming around on the idea, but after what I saw last night, I don't know. I kind of swung back the other way because it was such an egregiously bad moment. But bottom line is he's still on this team, and he's on this team for at least one more game, and we got to get one more good game out of him. The game in 2 weeks is not going to be easy, and a guy like Woolen can make a big difference in whether or not this game goes well. So I hope that they can get past it, and I hope this doesn't end up becoming a microcosm of what ends up leading to some kind of breakdown on this defense. And to the credit of this defense, they did not allow any points after this sequence, but you still don't like to see it, and it's complicated, right? All right, let me know what you guys think down below. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Everyone have a good day. More videos coming soon.